Thank you, Professor Sahana Murthy, for organizing this. And also thank her and her department for all the things they did when we just started to think about all these kinds of online teaching. So many kinds of resources, webinars that were organized were really helpful. I was looking forward to many of the things. And this works on Windows, that doesn't work on Mac, and so many kinds of things that we didn't needed to do too much of experimentation. We could get started very fast. That was really helpful. Thank you. So my experiences related to this online teaching was that suddenly, if you think about from a movie perspective, because I teach a 1.5 hour course, is you're an actor suddenly become a director, right? You are behind the screens. You're trying to develop these videos, and you also need to develop the skills of editing, like a Ram Gopal Verma movie, fast, quick, and then to the point, not go. So there was a different kind of thought process that was going on for these videos to develop. And then I was teaching this multidisciplinary set of people, IT geoinformatics. So I taught a minor course, UG minor, and a PG course, and one elective, and also one lab. So at that time when I was teaching this geoinformatics course, one, either it is advantage or disadvantage, but this COVID was, when it was being shown on the news channels, it's coming on the web pages, a lot of it was GIS kind of visualization, which I was teaching. So it was a kind of a new experience for me also to get connected with it, show the students what is happening live, open these websites, show the statistics, show the maps actually. We did a small experiment also, asking each of the students their location, send us your GPS location. So we mapped them on, and then connected with it kind of, COVID, what is the status of the COVID in their area, how it is changing. So over a period of time, we were able to track, and they got interested in that kind of So if it was not for an online thing, I wouldn't have had this opportunity to do that. So an immediate effect was that I could open during my lectures many websites, show them interactively what is happening, how it is connected to what they are actually learning. So it was a great experience at the time. Other thing was that we had to do this laboratory course. So this was a software that we wanted to teach, and it's purely, we had these licenses in our department, and normally they would sit in the lab and do this whole afternoon laboratory. So at that time we couldn't, and one semester we wasted, couldn't do that. And then we realized that we could get an online version of the software. So slowly, I could realize is that slowly we are moving on to that cloud platform where everything is on the cloud. Our cloud, your documents are on the cloud, PowerPoints are on the cloud, you're storing your lectures on the cloud, everything is cloud. So why not we take that? So we contacted the company, and they gave us this 50 licenses for this, and then we started this online lab course. With a lot of apprehension how it would go, because we had a different set of tasks to do in that. So we had to reinvent and then create a new set of then every day, every week we need to set up a new tasks for them. But then what I realized is that the online environment was much better than what was the desktop version that we had in the lab, because it was constantly updated, new tools were added instantly, and then the students had the opportunity also to share what they did in the lab to a larger community. They could get into the community, get in discussions, they could share with each other very easily. So it has opened up a really new perspective for us as far as the labs are concerned, GIS labs that we were doing. And then what I thought was that when we went to this offline teaching, and then this semester again I did this lab. So, and we were doing in the lab setting for the first couple of weeks, and then one of our students said he got COVID and he was this thing. So I was slightly apprehensive, how can I put all the students in a very closed environment, and teach them this lab course. I was slightly disturbing because the lab was so congested. We didn't have proper ventilation issues. So I thought, let us go back again to this online thing and see experiment what happens. So I said 15 students will sit in their hostels, 15 students will come to the lab, and then we will do the online thing. It was happening. But one advantage of doing was that we would randomly pick a student and say, okay, you are going to share your screen. And then we will make that student do the steps one after the other. So students are attentive, they would do, but then we realized that some of the students said, I don't have bandwidth, I'm joining on a mobile phone. I can't do it. So again, I had to ask them to come to the lab, and then we did this 15 things, 15 rotation of these 15 students. But somehow it worked out really well for us. So going ahead, probably a lab, as far as the lab is concerned, I would love to go into that online mode of teaching instead of they can sit in the lab itself, but that online environment and experience that they are gaining.